It just says you're connected, so we're good. Okay, Justin, can you hear us all right?
You're muted.
Do you want to, can you turn on your?
Yeah, just a minute, I need to get plugged in here.
Oh, then they sent me a code.
Okay, Justin, it's just gonna take a second for us to get everybody up and loaded here. We had a couple of IEP things going on, which drained batteries and.
So I'll just.
Okay. All right, Dave, I guess we can go ahead and start.
Okay. Here's my gavel. Call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. Announcement for Open Meetings Act has been posted. There. In closed session, if during the meeting discussing any item on the agenda should be held in closed meeting, the board will conduct a closed meeting in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Law. Roll call.
Mr. Bench.
Here.
Mr. Ernest.
Here.
Mrs. Ernest is absent. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Shoemaker is absent. Mr. Wiedemann.
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Here.
And Mr. Jones here.
Hearings, person to address the board. Look like there's an address the board. Oh yeah, this Pledge of Allegiance, sorry.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have an approval of the agenda? Motion?
So moved. I'll second.
Shad here.
Yeah, I should be all the way down.
Shad first.
No persons to address the board. Okay, are we ready for Justin?
Oh, hang on, we need to do a roll call on the.
We gotta do the vote on the approval of the agenda. So it was Shad first, and who's the second?
Shad Mitchell was the second.
We didn't vote.
Mr. Wiedemann.
Yeah.
Mr. Bench.
Yes.
Mr. Ernest.
Yes.
And Mr. Jones.
Yes. Hi, Justin. Yeah, remember when I said I had it all turned off?
Yeah.
That was a genius move. Hi, Justin, can you hear us now?
Justin, you got us now?
Yep, I can hear you, Charles.
Okay, perfect. Well, we just asked Justin to come on in and just discuss, give us an update on the two depositions that we went through. And just an opportunity for the board to share any kind of thoughts or questions for Justin as we go. Justin, just so you know, if Susie rings in on this, she was not able to make the meeting tonight, but she might jump in on the Zoom. Okay, Justin, did you hear what I said?
I kind of did, but it kind of got a little lost when I moved around via the laptop.
Okay, so basically I just said we just wanted to invite you in tonight and talk through the depositions that we've had over the last couple of weeks with the two companies that we've had the deposition, and just open it up for a little bit of questions from the board if they have questions. So with that said, if you don't want to just start with just the Reichert one, then move on to the Fisher Track one, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Matt, I know you were at the Riker deposition, and I thought that may have been the most illuminating deposition so far. I mean, I know you had your deposition taken on behalf of the school district, but Mr. Reichert's deposition, and I guess Matt, you can correct me if I'm wrong or if you disagree, but I thought it really painted a picture of a contractor who was probably in over his head. Everything was late, everything got delayed. They started getting notices from their subcontractors that they were gonna basically start collecting penalty money or interest if things didn't get up to speed because they had other jobs that they needed to get to. So it was really a rush job at the end to get everything done. Probably the most revealing part of his deposition, I thought, was that there was allegedly a conversation between the architect, Reichert, the former superintendent, and Sam Fisher, where they had talked about how badly the track project had gone, that one of the options was to just tear it up and start over again, but that would delay everything by months, and his testimony was that nobody wanted to do that, supposedly. So they came up with this, I don't know, kind of half Band-Aid approach that they thought would fix it, and, you know, it really didn't get fixed. So I thought that was, you know, about as good as it could have gone. Sam Fisher's deposition, Matt and I talked about it ahead of time, and we talked about it afterwards. He's 72, 74 years old? Pretty sharp for a guy in his early 70s. But he had every problem, every explanation, every crack in the track, he had some kind of an explanation for, which I think if you were to talk with him cold, you would think this is a really sharp guy who knows what he's doing and really cares and pays attention to everything. But between the emails with Matt, the letters he sent to other people, other emails, he's contradicted himself like 3 or 4 times. So he seems like a really nice guy, but I think in the deposition, what I gathered from him is he's just a really, really good salesman who, if you ask him why this is broken or this doesn't work or this is cracked, like that, he's got an explanation. And he gives you the explanation, and then a year later he doesn't remember his explanation and then gives you a different explanation. So, you know, I thought all in all the depositions have been going fairly well, better than I would have expected. With probably the biggest deposition though is the architect who, according to our expert at least, didn't design the track properly, or at least to account for drainage or runoff or water, where everybody agreed from the beginning of this track was flooding. I followed up with their attorney Monday and then last week on where their emails are that they're required to produce to us in discovery. And I don't know if they're just lazy about getting those or they don't want to turn them over for whatever reason, but at some point we're going to need those before we do the deposition of Ryan Stearns, the architect. So, you know, I don't know that we learned anything in a deposition. No one's just going to come out and admit anything terrible, but I certainly don't think we've hurt our case at all by asking questions and exploring some of this stuff.
Oh, perfect. What questions do you guys have from the board about the track project or how things are going with the deposition?
So with the depositions, is it looking like we're gonna get money back, or is it, is anybody gonna held accountable and
That's
pay for their?
It's kind of the magic ticket item there. So right now, we tried our hand at a little bit of just entertaining some sort of mediation, and the companies came back with like a low ball offer. I think we were all in the room and that was
$40,000?
yeah, like $40,000, which is not where we wanted to be. And since then, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, there hasn't been any entertainment for mediation or anything like that yet.
Yeah, I think they wanted to get the depositions in, and I think it was more, I don't think they would say this, but I think it was more, there's 3 defendants. If one of them really screwed up, the other 2 would then be able to point to the one saying they need to pay more than we do. But, after the Riker deposition, their attorneys started working on discovery and said they're gonna need an extra witness, and so, they didn't feel any of that need until they did the deposition, and then after the deposition, it was like, okay, now we gotta get serious about it. So, I think at some point, mediation is highly likely. It's just a matter though of, we've still got 1 to go, but after that 1, either the Building and Grounds Committee or some version of the board and you, Matt, will have to figure out a way how that mediation looks and, what we're willing to accept or not accept. But that's what I would expect to happen after this Ryan Stern's deposition, is everybody maybe comes to the table and realizes doing this for another year or 2 years probably isn't in anyone's best interest.
So you think there's a chance mediation can solve this without ending up in court?
Yeah, I mean, we will need to use a good mediator, which, the good mediators get booked months out. So it may be end of summer before, depending on when this deposition, it may be end of summer, early fall before we get into one of the better ones. But if we get into mediation, they do a pretty good job of leaning on everybody of, you're here, how do we get to here? So there is a high likelihood that mediation will resolve it.
During that Riker deposition, did they give any specific reasons why they all kind of agreed that maybe they should start over with the track project? Was there specific laid out reasons like the concrete's not good or the the elevation's not good, or?
At that point, they had done, this goes back to the asphalt lane. And Justin, that's where I'm gonna go with this, because they basically said when they laid the asphalt, the machines weren't able to get close enough to the bleachers and the gates. So they were tapering off into the center lane, basically. So you'd have like, essentially like a valley in the middle of the track. So all your other asphalt's gonna be above that. So there was just some high points and low points in there. And they couldn't remedy it with just more asphalt. So that sounds about right?
Yeah, that's exactly the case, and there were 3 options to fix it. One was to mill it, which they did over a weekend without anyone else there, which Sam Fisher didn't think was a good idea. They could cut out the low point and try and just do that, but that had the risk then of that section is going to be different than the rest of the track, so that wasn't a good idea. And then the third was we just tear everything up and redo it correctly the first time, which would have delayed the whole project, because this was happening in late August. So to redo it probably would have been in the spring. But Matt's explanation is exactly what I remember him saying as well.
Yeah. No mention of a hailstorm or anything like that. So a lot of the information we've heard over the last couple of years has kind of been like,
Why didn't they lay the track first and then put the concrete and fencing? Why did they do that first? When they knew that they'd have to get to the edge of the track?
okay, so the question was, did it come up during the depositions about why they didn't lay the track first and then do the finish work around the track, like the concrete and the bits and all those things?
So everyone has kind of pointed the finger at Hughley and Associates, Ryan Starnes, who designed the track and laid it all out. And I think that's why his deposition is probably going to be the most important is, Reichert's position really was the architect calls the plays, and I just run them as they tell me to. And so if the architect said, put a fence right here, put the track right here, my marching orders are get the track where the architect says the track needs to go. Fisher was kind of the same way of, that's why you pay an architect, is to lay all of this out. So I think that will be a pretty important component of what Ryan Starnes has to say is, why in the heck did you put a fence a meter outside of lane 8 when you've got all this area outside of the track where some of the shot put and all that area is, where you could have easily made the space work? Until we get him under oath, I don't know that we're going to be able to know why they did what they did in the order that they did it in.
Yeah, so we were at the Mitchell track meet and same thing. The grandstands are a little further back, but the fence is right on.
Close.
Yeah. And I mean, theirs is a much different setup than ours, I'd say. I mean, the bleachers are kind of where people are. Ours is just way smaller bleachers, way more fence line. So it's definitely strange.
Do you have a date set for that last deposition?
No, if we don't get something back by probably middle of next week, we're probably gonna have to get the judge involved to have an order to compel them to produce those emails. Because, I mean, we could do the deposition, but if we don't have all of the emails that he received about the project, we're gonna have to do a second one. And I'd rather just do one to get everything covered rather than go out there, come back and go out there again.
Because it's North Platte, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think by the end of next month. I mean, if it goes beyond that, that means, they're really dragging their feet or not wanting something to come out.
What emails are we kind of looking for again? I forgot that part.
Any email that Brian or what's Hughley's name, like Joseph?
Yeah, Joseph, yeah.
Or, whatever the main guy, any emails that their firm received, related emails, letters, text messages, or other communication that they received about the track project. So that could be from the school, from Riker, from Fisher, from somebody else, anything that somebody sent them that relates to the project.
It's just really strange that they haven't been able to do that in the last 2 years. What other questions the board members do you guys have that we could ask Justin while he's here? And keep in mind, we do get transcripts of these depositions as well.
And did I think I sent you Riker's.
Yeah, I have records. And the
Okay,
board,
so
the board
yeah,
has.
so-
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't got Fisher's yet, but when I get that, I'll send it to you, Matt.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's all the questions that we have. I just wanted to thank you so much for being here and going over those things with us. And then I guess we'll just wait to hear back from you in terms of the Hughley and Associates deposition as well as the transcripts for the other one. And, hopefully we can get this thing all sorted out. It seems like I don't know how many years we're on it now. Is it 2.5 years now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Well, thank you so much, Justin. I guess we'll visit with you soon, okay?
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
That costs us money.
Everything we do with it costs money. Okay, we are,
The depositions cost like $14,000.
we're now at reports. Is there a student board report?
It's in the packet. Macy sends her apologies with the day of the board meeting changing from Monday to Tuesday. She had a scholarship
Okay.
dinner tonight. She's being awarded her scholarship, so it is in the packet. But she wasn't able to be here to present.
Let's move on. Any board reports?
Yeah, we met several times this month with different committees. The first committee that we met with this month was building and grounds. Shad, we can kind of go over a little bit of that if you'd like to.
It was just typical needs for the summer for the buildings. I don't know, we talked about the scoreboard. It was pretty in-depth on the kitchen and Gurley. There's some issues there we need to address at some point. I think we need to take all the things we want to do and prioritize them.
Yeah. That was the main thing, it's just like, it's like, it's an elephant. I mean, with aging structures and everything, there's just so many things that come out. And we've addressed a lot throughout the years, but as we go through, I mean, everything's just like, what about that, what about that? So, but the scoreboard thing was a main component. HVAC came up.
The kitchen in Gurley is gonna be it needs a makeover for sure. But that may be I don't know, 1 or 2 years down the road or something. But we're gonna have to do some things to make it work for the time being.
Yeah, I had a couple contractors contacted just to see kind of what they thought about the project. One of them came in and said, this project could be, I mean, if we bought all the supplies and just, had them basically installed, it could probably come in okay. It's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's still a big project. I don't think it'll be at the level where we'll need like an engineer or an architect for, which is great, but that kitchen is just, it's rough. And then we talked a little bit about all the work we're doing on the football fields and stuff like that. We're working with a turf company out of Colorado that's done some soil samples and all that stuff, so hopefully our athletic fields look really, really awesome. We have the first treatment of that going in later this week. So
They did one already.
The Gurley football field looked improved to me.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it could be ready for this fall.
it'll be close.
Hopefully we'll get to have some games down there.
Okay. Principal's report?
All right. We hosted a high school track meet on April 14th. Thank you to everyone that helped run that track meet. Students in grades 9 through 11 took the pre-ACT and the ACT test on April 15th. I'll report the scores next month. The ACT scores have been really slow coming in. We just finally got all of them in like the day before yesterday. It was only at 12. They were coming in like 2 at a time. And I don't know why. Title I held a family engagement night on April 23rd. It was well attended. Thank you to Mrs. Rathman for organizing the event and to all the staff who helped that night. District music was held at WNCC on the 23rd of April. The results are as follows: vocal, Tristan Fisher, tenor solo, a 1. Duet, Tristan Fisher and Aspen Snyder, a 1. Trio, Aspen Snyder, Kristen Townsend, Calicia Townsend was a 1. The choir received a plaque and a 1 rating from all judges, and pretty impressive with 8 kids going up against choirs that have 20, 30, 40 kids in them. And so to be commended. Instrumental, trombone, duet, Max Wiggins and Cooper Benish at 2. Brass quintet, Kennedy Riley, Chase Moore, Max Wiggins and Henry McLaughlin and Kinley McDaniel, a 1. Trumpet trio, Riley Benish, Josiah Kepler, Alex Hernandez, a 1. Flute clarinet duet, Avi Cranmore and Macy Raleigh, a 1. Flute solo, Macy Raleigh, a 2. Clarinet solo, Avi Cranmore, a 1. And the concert band received a 2 rating overall. 4th graders had their wax museum on April 24th. Prom was held on April 25th and was well attended. The king was Alec Watchhorn. Queen was Macy Raleigh. Thank you to Mrs. Haley, Mrs. Weezer, Mrs. Hop, and all the junior students for all their hard work. Best of the West track meet was held on April 28th in Scottsbluff. Qualifiers were Joel Hayek in junior high for the 800. High school is Alec Watchhorn in the 110 and 300 hurdles. Austin Butler in the long jump. Riley Benish in the 1600. Alec won both hurdle events. We hosted MAC track meet on May 1st. The day went very well. Thank you for all the staff and others who helped make that day go real smooth. 7/12 Spring Concert was held on May 4th. Congratulations to Mr. Oaks and his choir and band students for a great concert. FFA banquet was held on May 5th. The new officers for 25-26 are Riley Benish, President, Avi Cranmore, Vice President, Kennedy Raleigh, Secretary, Cooper Benish, Treasurer, Marley Wiggins, Reporter, and Colt Van Ann, the Sentinel. Thank you to Ms. Van Ann and Mrs. Rushman for their work on the banquet. There's been several field trips for our students to get experience during the last month. Thank you for all the teachers for organizing these trips and the opportunities for our students. Following students were named the Spring NCPA Academic All-State: Cooper Benish, Riley Benish, Macy Raleigh, Alec Watchorn, and Avi Cranmore. The seniors' last day was May 11th. There were pictures and practice that day along with checkouts. Honors night was last night, May 11th, was well attended with several awards given out for academics and activities. Thank you, Mrs. Hott, for all of her work in organizing the event. And some key upcoming dates: we have District Track at Bear tomorrow, Case 6 Spring Concert on Thursday, preschool graduation, elementary field day and barbecue on Friday, high school graduation at 1 on Saturday, kindergarten graduation Monday morning, 18th, junior high honors and 8th grade promotion on Monday evening at 6. Last day for students will be the 19th of May. District golf is in Ogallala the 19th of May. Last day for staff is May 20th, and state track will be in Omaha on May 22nd and 23rd.
Okay. Okay, superintendent's report.
I'm just gonna go back to the pre-ACT, ACT, MSGAS, and NWEA. The results that we're seeing have been very positive in terms of meeting goals and things like that for our students. The results that we're seeing have been just pretty nice. We're excited that there was a lot of kids that were at and above their benchmark goals, meeting growth targets, and even had several students score above a 20 on the pre-ACT, which was very nice to see. ACT results, we saw those. It's definitely an area where we need to. There was some bright spots, and then there were some spots where we can definitely improve. So we'll be presenting that information later as well. I think I just got a copy of that on my desk today. So stuff gets hard in April and May at schools. So the teaching staff is just commended for their work being flexible and adapting to change while keeping our students engaged in daily tasks that they need in order to be successful as they progress to the next grade level. And that's a great thing about school. When I was going to school, I just kind of remember, you get to unit 6 or whatever unit you're in. The goal was to finish that curriculum, and to get everything that you need out of that school year. So we're trugging right along. And I think that's a great thing for our kids. Because if you skip that last unit, then you're going to be behind. So we're pushing the last wire. We've completed 2 of the 3 different depositions, and hopefully the last one's this month. The budget document's underway. Staff will be finalized, get a good idea of where this is, as that's the biggest portion of our budget. We need to keep in mind that our accounts look favorable, but every decision that we make with this year's budget, we'll be dealing with for the next year and a half. So just keep that in mind as we go forward with the budget. We need to maintain our facilities and upgrade where needed. But the budget's just our hopes and our dreams for our district. And each board member is just responsible for closely monitoring the budget and asking questions to our committee as well as the superintendent. Line by line, we're going to create a budget that meets the needs of our school for now and in the future, with the future being the big word. We look very favorable this month in our bottom lines in all those areas, but it's just important for us to think about staying the course and getting better and better each year. A lot of summer projects for the building and grounds being attached to a 3 to 5 year plan. We've done a lot of work, but we got to keep that going. So when we looked at the 3 to 5 year plan, it was sort of like there was a lot of things that were completed and done quickly, some big wins early on, but there's little things that kind of keep coming up that we just need to cross off those lists and just reevaluate our facilities at all times so we're good to go. AC units are the main thing that we always think about, because when those go bad, it's just terrible for everyone. Let's see here, the wellness team met and discussed our program, review for the lunch program, and discussed the wellness assessment. That's gonna be all finalized this month. We'll anticipate our yearly policy update coming in June, so we can update our manuals. That's usually just like a 6-hour meeting where they just talk with me about all the policy changes that come up, and we present those to the board. Once again, that's through KSP law firm. So Perry has his own thing, or Justin Knight, but we use KSP. Our board has been doing a really good job fulfilling their part of the strategic plan of staying up to date on trainings pertaining to board functions. The board retreat that we held last year might be something to look at again this upcoming year, just to pick a new goal and to keep us operating smoothly. I mean, I think when we left that, we had a pretty good idea of how we're going to operate as a board for the year. And then just wanted to first, the chain of command. It's easy to get caught up with what's happening on social media. Just be mindful of staying positive and addressing patron concerns using that chain of command. We just have to tell our positive stories first and fix areas that come up. But we don't fix things as one person. And I know this board does a really good job of directing patrons to use a chain of command. Just keep that up. And I just want to thank you guys for doing that, because that's the best way to solve patron issues, is to just send them to the source. Because it can be uncomfortable, but it's also something that just needs to happen. Let's see here. Speaking of which, communication and community relations. We've seen a number of social media posts from patrons. They'll give us some insight into some areas that we struggle with within our communication processes that we have in the school. I realize that social media is not the ideal place for things to get done at school, but sometimes it makes us take a close look at what we do, so we can align our systems to meet the needs of all of those stakeholders. So Mr. Jones and I have some plans during the discussion items tonight that will hopefully address the areas where, you know, we've had some issues. And I think it was either Charles or Cody that said we want to get back to a district motto of something like, let's get back to communication like there was no Facebook. It's great that we have Facebook, but we just got to overly communicate and get everybody on board telling that same story, because communication is not just the superintendent's job or just the building principal's job. It's kind of like everybody's job, and we all got to do a better job at that. So we just want to be proactive, and we have some ideas for scheduling, communication, just telling our story first. We appreciate feedback, and it takes more effort for us to be the best small school option in Western Nebraska. That's what we want to do. So that's just kind of my rant on that one. And then below is my lead blog.
I might have missed it, but I didn't see where the 3 to 5 year plan was attached.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I say I'm going to do something and then it just gets great. I'll send that through to your emails just right now.
Thank you.
And then on that 3 to 5 year plan, I think the main goal for that is to, I mean, it's a very basic document, so we just want to make sure that we kind of make that thing a little bit more professional as we go too. So I'm sharing that out with the whole board now. All right, so it's a little bit color coded as well. So it's greens are done, reds are not, yellows are like pushed back a little bit. But at the Gurley site, like some things that are very small, seemingly small things are actually very big things, like the auto flushing toilets in Gurley, which are actually done, so they should be green. But that's a huge cost to the district, but also a really big money saver / facilities. You're thankful when you have them, because a lot of times our kids don't flush as well as they should. So having something flush for you is you're thankful for you when you work here. Is all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, but yeah, so like a lot of different items are on there. It's broken down by track, Dalton, Gurley, transportation, and HVAC. So always looking for extending that sucker out a little bit further now. Since I got here, that was the list of things to do. We've got a lot of them done. Now we got to go forward for a couple of years.
Moving on to discussion items.
Yes.
Discuss the school nutrition fund and need to amend the budget at the June meeting. No changes in the levy in either the special building or general fund.
Okay, so since you can't tell the public that you just made a huge mistake in your calculation for what it was going to cost to run a school lunch program, that's what happened on this. So we had so my calculations that I put down on there were actually $50,000 off of what it probably was going to cost to run the school lunch fund. I had the column one was just like, here's your receipts for this year, what it's going to cost. Here's your projections in number 2 and what's your final. And my projections were actually different than what my final budget was on there. And I don't know how I messed it up, but I messed it up. It doesn't cost anybody any money or anything like that. We just have to adjust it so the auditors know that we put out an amended budget so it shows what we'll actually be spending or close to that. So instead of being instead of being 227, or sorry, 252, it was what the total available resources were on column 5 on the bottom for the original. It's actually going to need to read 300,000 just to be safe. Our expenses were around 277, so we're going to be over budget on that. So it won't cost anybody any more money in taxes. It's just a mess up on the school lunch fund on my part. I can't publish it as that, but I screwed up. So next month's meeting, we'll just do an agenda item that says that we're going to amend.
Did we get some grants for school?
Yeah, there's a lot of grants, and that could have been where I was at, because you got to expense it out first.
Yeah, so have to show it as expense.
Yeah, so when you spend it out and then you get it back, so calculating that was kind of like, oh, all right.
Okay.
So no fun, but it's nothing that's, so apologize.
Okay, moving on, discuss policies and procedures related to random drug testing of students at Leyton.
Okay, so as a school board, we'll probably do this with some committee, like a wellness committee or something like that, to help us make a crystal clear decision. But I was asked by the board last month to look into various policies and procedures for what it would look like to do a random drug testing here at the school. So I went ahead and contacted the company, WPCI, for their procedural stuff that they do for like a traditional testing at any other school. And then I asked our policy service for some potential drug testing policy advice. They have 2 different types of policies that they have written. One is with nicotine/tobacco, or without nicotine and tobacco. So that's one thing that we're going to have to work through as a board, of which policy that we want to do. Now, when I talked to WPCI, they said, well, what I thought they were going to say. A lot of schools are going with the without nicotine. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why, but it's kind of we're going to have to make some decisions on that as far as what we want to do.
But it is illegal for them to have it. So, how do you, I mean, I kind of think you need to have it, but that's,
Well, I would agree.
I mean, I guess there probably are 18-year-olds in,
Oh, it's 21 though now.
oh, it's 21.
Yeah.
Well, that's how old I am, I So that covers everybody. Hopefully.
So those are the conversations that we'll need to have moving forward. Probably be an agenda item for June, so we have some time to kind of go through which ones that we would like. But those are the kind of the procedural things that they do for WCC.
So we also have to decide penalties or discipline.
Yeah.
I see it's kind of just blank.
Yeah,
The bottom one, you have recommendations in there, right, on one of them?
yeah, I think there's some recommendations on one of them. But we have
And
some.
we could follow, and that's a discussion I have too, we could follow our current athletic handbook policy that first offense is 25. And of course, you'd have to take out self-admit, because if you get caught on a drug test, you didn't self-admit. But we currently have a policy that your first offense, you miss 25% of your scheduled games, or 10% if you self-admit. So for instance, when a kid gets admitted over the weekend, if they come in Monday morning and say, hey, I got admit, then that penalty goes to 10% versus 25. And then the second offense is 50 and 25, 75 and 50, and then done for a calendar year.
What do you do if you got a kid that's not in activity? Is there, how, I mean, I don't know how else you punish a kid. but-
Generally, it's going to be almost all the kids that attend the school.
It'd be pretty close, because it would encompass music and the buffet and athletics and all of those types of things. You have a handful of kids that don't do, that aren't involved with it.
And those people would not be,
They're not in the pool.
they're the one being in the pool.
So they don't get tested. So they can be on drugs and
Yeah.
Potentially.
just be here. That doesn't seem quite right.
Seems like it's kind of unbiased.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still illegal again, right?
Right. Which, I mean, unfortunately, we've had experience with that, though, with students that have had those issues.
Is there other
I'm just
districts?
throwing out scenarios. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
trying to pick on.
Then you-
any kid.
Is there any other districts that do all students, not
No.
just?
I don't think so. Not that I've come across
When it's getting bad, you can also call law enforcement.
Right.
They can bring the drug dog in.
Can you?
Yeah.
it.
If
Yeah.
a test comes back positive, can you notify?
So the company, so that's kind of the testing protocols, the company will call their family first with information that tells them, like, basically, like, why would you have an opiate in your system or something like this, and just covering the basis of, is that a, and I asked the question about medical marijuana, and they're like, no, it's not legal in the state of Nebraska at all, even with a prescription, I guess, right now, so those are areas, and besides that, you have to be card carrying in other states. There's a lot that goes into it, but they would make the phone call home, and then we would get a report back that says this person, for lack of a better term, tested hot.
Any more discussion?
It's a lot to consider. I think the pricing of it's very reasonable.
Yeah, look like it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's cost prohibitive, and we just want our kids to make good decisions.
So next month, you'll have some recommendations for
Yeah.
how all this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay, review and discuss policies, series 5051 to 5067. Any comments? This is pretty much,
Pretty standard.
yeah.
These ones are just good. The one that comes up quite a bit is probably the student bullying. So we definitely talk about student bullying quite a bit at our school, not like an everyday thing, but we want to make sure that we address all forms of bullying and have methods for people to report. It is, our self-reporting is, I guess, decent. But most of the time, we don't even, our anonymous tip line that we have set up doesn't get used. It's usually done pretty face-to-face with bullying, but yeah, we just kind of go back to those items. It's pretty good. So So 5065 will come up this month, and this is bed bugs. So we'll have a bill this month for bed bugs. So it's, but we don't want to ever take these things lightly at all. My family picked them up. I don't know how. It was horrible. It was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It was absolutely horrible. So we don't want to ever mess with that. So when that happens, we will be very proactive and knock that out and make sure the kids are made aware quickly. And that's happened, weirdly enough, 2 years in a row on about the same day. Yeah. I think it was the 17th of April. So,
It's not the policy I thought you'd bring up.
yeah. Yeah, just, I mean, we work with the public, so it's, those things can and do happen.
Okay, let's move to the next one. Discuss recent issues with annual calendar and effective communication to the community.
This is something that Charles and I have been talking quite a bit on, Allison as well, our whole office staff. You know, we take this stuff very personally. It's our jobs and what we do for a living. And we don't want to be the thing that stands out as like this thing's broken. So I just want to talk with the board and just let you guys know that over the last couple of weeks we've had some negative comments about how we broadcast calendars and all those different things. But we're going to be making sure this summer we're taking a lot of time and just doing very specific things that can help our district run a little bit smoother. For instance, one of the things that we're going to do is try to get everything listed on our calendar with early dates.
Possibly can.
Yeah. So by the time the school year hits, we can say, here's our field day, here's our makeup field day. Please plan accordingly. Here's our kindergarten graduation. Here's like the dates that we kind of know anyways. We just want to make sure that we have those a little bit more solidified. What other things were we talking about doing as far as that goes?
Just having a set, something put forward that we can kind of check and balance each other so that the printed calendar says it, so does the digital calendar, so does the one on the website, that they all are speaking the same language. And I think that was kind of a little bit of the problem that caused some of this, is they weren't all totally synced together. And so it's something that we're addressing and that we are going to address full-heartedly once school gets out. Some time to take care of that.
It's an issue even in the bigger districts.
Yeah.
I know we follow Gearing stuff because our grandkids are there. The school calendar doesn't line up with something.
Inevitably, I mean, we know people's schedules are scheduled out a long ways, so hiccups hurt, and that's just how it is. But we know about it, and you know, we just want to make sure that people know that like the appropriate places to go with concerns. But we're also going to try our darndest to make sure that thing's smooth running. But we have a lot of people that care, and they've taken some of those social media posts and it's kind of driven them to some action, and that's good. You know, every once in a while, it doesn't hurt to kind of to check on yourself and get better. That's what our plan is over the summer, because it wasn't perfect this year, but we'll get it that way.
What's the, like on the newsletter, what's the goal? What's the goal to get that out? Or what's the day of the month? Like,
That's
because sometimes it doesn't come to like the day, like the month has already started, and you're just getting the newsletter.
yeah, it's like May, like in May, I got mine May 1, and then you know that's you're in school that day, so it's kind of like
Is there any way to move that up like a week?
maybe bump up the newsletter a little earlier.
Because a lot of people just get the newsletter and that's what they look at.
Yeah.
And we
So
have,
the sooner they could ask questions and like, is this right? Or is it?
Yeah,
we have slow mail around.
it's true.
We have slow mail.
Yeah. And those are definitely things that have been hiccups. yeah, like our whole goal, communicate like there was no Facebook, because that's, I think the newsletter, really, a lot of people use it like more than we think.
Yeah.
And that's, it's been good, but it's also, forecasting a month in advance and a lot of stuff happens.
People need to be a little understanding too that stuff changes,
Yeah.
reschedule, and it's not always our school that does it. It might be a different school that changes something like
Yeah.
it. So it's hard, but
Yeah, so those are all, anything you guys have though to help us out as we navigate those waters, the better. It's gonna make us a better team ultimately, so that's our goal. And there's different systems that they'll sell you for $15,000 to fix everything, but we're not spending money on something that we can fix, and it's,
we're fine with it.
with the local approach, we can get them.
They call every month though.
Yeah.
People get way too comfortable.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, discuss the purchase of a scoreboard to the sponsorship and recommendation for purchase at the junior.
Okay, so we had our first meeting with the local bank last week, or it was this week, was it Monday? Was it yesterday?
That's yesterday.
Sorry, I picked up some hay fever today. I can barely even open my eyes right now, it's terrible. But anyways, yeah, it was a pretty good meeting, we just,
No.
yeah, the one in Dalton. So I think we're gonna have some good feedback from folks about it. Platte Valley, we haven't been able to get into the door just yet there, but just I left thinking that the bank was probably pretty excited about working with us. Yeah, so I just wanted to get your guys' perspective of purchasing the scoreboards and then kind of just like trying to get that, those funds ready to go. So like the concept would be lock down a couple different banks in the next month, but get those on the way. Does that make sense to everybody? So they're about 6 to 8
About
weeks
a
out.
6-week turnaround.
No, I'm fairly confident that we can raise the money, but
Yeah.
I don't want to say that if we don't.
I think we have a very good case for depreciation funds on the scoreboard as well, but the money is also in the general fund as well. It's not something that we went ahead and said, hey, we need to get a new scoreboard this year, but we're in a pretty good spot where we could, get that done. As opposed to transferring money to depreciation, maybe we just purchase it out of the general fund and work with our people about scoreboard and stuff. When we were there, something came up though that I wasn't too ready for, was just like specific dollar amounts. I didn't have anything in mind. So I just kind of wanted to know what you guys' thoughts were for that.
That's a tough one.
It's hard.
Because you go to these people and they're gonna say, well, how much do you want?
Yeah.
Well, the scoreboards are basically 28 to 30,000
Yeah.
by the time you get them installed. So we want 30,000. But you can't just say that to the first guy.
Or how much are you willing to give us?
That's what, how much are you willing, how much are you willing to donate to this?
Yeah. I mean, we had a pretty cool speech on Huddle and.
It was a good presentation.
But Huddle has opportunities for them to be front and center. So
How many times have I seen those names during the course of the school year?
And it's advertising as long as they're on the wall.
So yeah, we're struggling a little bit about that because we don't have like a gold level sponsor or anything.
Well, we could, you could do that. We say, well, platinum is 30,000.
Yeah.
Gold is,
Yeah.
you could do that, but I want everybody you go to understand any amount would be appreciated.
Yeah. Cool. It will put you on there.
I just hate to go in there and say, well, we need 10,000 or nothing.
Yeah. So it could be, we could be doing this with 3 companies, we could be doing this with 10 companies, I don't know, but
Hopefully not.
yeah,
It's a little bit.
I think 3 or 4 would be nice.
It's a nice
Really
thing.
nice.
yeah.
It'd be easy to advertise through.
All right, so we got so we started with the makes, and the next ones will be, we had 4 others, didn't we? Crossroads and then.
Schoolers.
Schoolers, okay. So Crossroads and Schoolers,
Flat Valley, I think was.
Platte Valley. And hopefully we can beat them. That'd be great. All right. And I'll share out what the presentation was. It's pretty basic, but it's also kind of neat. Like at one point, the people from Huddle gave some data points, and they said our Garden County game versus Leyton here.
Sub-district final.
Yeah, it was just like huge numbers, like 800 people were watching from home. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, football game.
Huge, I say huge, that's probably, people watch are like, that's not that big. I thought it was a lot, considering the amount of people who
For
were
us,
there.
it is.
It's huge for us, it is.
I mean, you had probably 500 people in attendance and then another 800 watching at home.
All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on to regular agenda action items. I have a motion to excuse board members who were not here. Mitch made the motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bench,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Weedman.
Yes. Special recognition. I suppose all the ones that you have in your principals report. Although, is there any to add to that? What's not in his principals report?
I think he said Natasha's name, but it wasn't on the report, so
Yeah.
I'd like to put that one in.
Last night was really
Yeah.
top notch.
Okay,
I'll move.
okay. Second?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Weedman,
Yes.
Mr. Bench,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Review, consider, take action regarding the minutes of the April 13, 2026 regular school board meeting.
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of the April 13th,
I'll second.
2026 school board meeting.
Mr. Bench,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Weedman.
Yes. Review, consider, take action regarding the claims, warrants, and transfers.
Big one.
It was a big one.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
But the lawnmower was in there for 17.5 and
The law firm.
the law firm for 14. That, otherwise, it's a fairly normal month.
Yeah, anytime that the lawyer preps, travels, and deposes all day is good, it's very, very expensive. So the longer it drags out, you always wonder, are they just waiting for somebody to blink? And it just goes through my mind, so,
Or waiting for us to give out.
yeah.
But other than those two things, I think everything.
Pretty normal.
Yep, look good.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Weedman,
Yes.
Mr. Bench.
Yes.
Moving on. Review, consider, take action regarding accepting a routine safety audit completed in April of 2026.
We're just pretty fortunate to have a really good guy come out and do our Rule 10 audit. This is different than the audit that our insurance does. You have to have 2 of them per year. So one of them is through the insurance company, and the second one is an independent guy that comes out his name's escaping me right now, but he's a former superintendent at Baird, nice guy.
Alan Gross.
Yeah, Alan Gross, that's right, perfect. Really nice guy, very complimentary of our facilities. I think he's that way because we do what he tells us to do. So if he says that we need to have, you know, curbs fixed and all those things, we're gonna do that. If he says we need different trainings, we're gonna do those things. He knows what he's talking about. He goes through the strengths and all those different things, and then he came up with 3 items for consideration, which we can always bring bring up to the district. Vaping detectors in the restrooms at the high school. Consider installing those detectors in the locker rooms in the high school facility as well as the junior high. That'll be a motion for this month. It's happening more than we'd like to think, but we know it's happening. And they definitely deter our kids from being in the bathrooms.
They are getting creative.
But they're getting creative.
Dashing in the ceiling
So yeah, that's the first one. The second one was consider adding electronic locks to all exterior doors at the Dalton facility. What he's talking about there is fobs for the doors that don't have fobs. Just easy access for students in the case of an emergency. I can't tell you how many keys I have key ring. In an emergency situation, if I need to get a bunch of kids inside, and we're over here, that'd be a struggle.
Currently, we only have 2 doors. Our main door is fobbed, and the one back in the back of the shop is fobbed. That's the only 2 doors. Well, in the weight room, sorry. Nothing on this side of the building is fobbed.
Is that,
It's expensive.
is it?
Yeah.
It will be.
Why was this one ever found?
I
I didn't know, so.
have no clue.
I was long time.
Yeah, it was, it could have, but it might have gotten torn off or something.
Seems like the one you'd want to have one.
You'd think that'd be the perfect one to have.
It never happened.
Oh, it never did. It's just it's a strange thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like they pick and choose which, you know, and earlier there was only 2 doors. There was about the main door and one of the playground.
Like I would put one here and not on the north side.
On the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one makes no sense. But, I mean, it's certainly helpful for like Mr. Haley.
Yeah, teacher.
I mean, he loves it. It's like, that's probably like one thing about coming to work. He's just like, that's fine, that's great. So, and then the third thing was consider a plan to upgrade the entry doors at the facilities, which are all glass. He's mentioned this a couple of different times, and there's more to it. Possibilities include replacing them with a more secure type of door or installing safety film on existing doors. And that's just a consideration that he's had before. And the bad guy wants to get into the adult facility, we're in trouble. We're sitting in a room with 4 huge windows that could just be kicked out. But those are, that's what you have. So safety film is something that he's mentioned. The previous 2 years, we haven't found a vendor for them yet, so we'll be exploring that. What we need for you guys was just review the safety report, and then we just need action to review.
Okay, do we have any motion?
I move we accept the Rule 10 safety audit.
I will second it.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Weedman?
Yes.
Mr. Benish?
Yes.
Mr. Ernst?
Yes.
Okay. Next one.
Review, consider, and take action regarding the purchase of vape detectors for the locker rooms and Gurley.
This is coming from the Rule 10 safety report, but just trying to get the areas in which we feel like students are currently doing illegal stuff in our school.
advantage of the.
We've had success with our vape detectors at both sites, going off when they're supposed to.
Do they go off when they hit them or release the, whatever it's in?
Probably when they release, but with our cameras, we can tell, it sends us a direct alert, several of us, Matt, me, Cody, office, Gurley, it comes straight to your phone, it says the big alert, and it has a timestamp. And so if we're there, we can go right there and check it, but if not, we can go back and check cameras, and, hey, you're the only kid that was in the locker room or in the bathroom, so, and by that time,
Yeah, it's been way better with that, and the wand.
yeah.
I think we have a really good system. But yeah, that's what we're asking for is.
So like 4 more detectors?
Yeah, that'd be 2 in these locker rooms here and then 2 down here.
What is a vape detector, how much does that cost?
Wasn't that
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
altogether, they're 5,100 for the system. And then it's a yearly fee.
But the initial, the vape detectors itself is a certain dollar amount, but then there's the subscription that goes on it. But then we also have a dashboard where it monitors every vape detector and it can tell you temperature in the room, air quality, all this other stuff too. So. And we can daisy chain off of the ones that we have here. The ones in Gurley will take a little more to put in, we'll have to run wire from a long ways.
This is probably a stupid question, but what happens to a kid that gets busted?
So we have a.
What is the?
We start with suspension, in-school suspension. If it's a THC vape, we call law enforcement.
Is it, if there's like that's first offense, it's
Yeah.
school, in
In
school?
school, yep, and then second offense is out of school.
Third is
We haven't had a third one yet. But I know the 2.
be expelled or
Well, I mean, just,
long-term suspension?
yeah, those are kind of just the stair-step approach, but yeah, it's been difficult for sure. Yeah.
Because with the THC, they get a double whammy, they get us, and then they also get a ticket from law enforcement.
And the tickets.
Pretty hefty.
It's like $350. Yeah.
You'd think that'd be a deterrent.
You think? We have run the dogs twice this year, just to let everybody know we're looking. We did once in the fall, and just had one a month ago. Brought the Bill County has a dog that is trained to sniff out THC. So we brought him in, didn't find anything, so that's
Which is good.
Yeah,
Maybe-
we've been clean both times there, so.
He did, Jim Bush's grandson though. Another one's in there.
In his mom's car.
Just embarrassing. That's funny.
So it's about 5,100?
Yeah.
Is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Wiedemann,
Yes.
Mr. Benish,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest.
Yes.
Review, consider, and take action regarding technology purchases for the 2026-2027 school year.
All right, so Allison, Charles, Tim, and myself met to discuss the technology purchases for this year. Total asking price that we're looking for the board is $11,135. The majority of that cost you'll kind of see is probably those freshman laptops. That's probably like the easiest way to kind of break the stuff down. So when we have incoming freshmen coming to school, we do the technology purchase, and they spend $50 every quarter or twice a semester to do payments on their technology fee. So it's $150 a year, so we get some of that money back. But the other stuff is a revolving kind of teacher laptops that are going old, that will replace out some smart boards,
And those are the last 3 smart boards, and then everyone should have one. So there may be one if someone, kind of glitches, breaks something, but everyone, that should be the end of like just getting into the cycle. This will be the last 3.
Interactive boards are pretty hardy.
Yeah, they are.
And this isn't
That's the-
exactly, this is
yeah,
a different one, but that's
smarter.
what we're talking about with the smart boards.
It's 3, it's 3.
Yeah. And then we'll have one of those smart boards paid through the preschool grant, so that'll,
Be about 8 something instead of the 11 once after the grant is applied.
And 15 Chromebooks,
so that's gonna be a replacement for, they wanna go to Chromebooks instead of touchscreen and stuff, so it's,
Instead of tablets, and so we devote, but they're kind of like, they're so inexpensive because they just kind of have a higher turnover. But they're $335 a piece, so we're just doing 15 more to kind of cycle some.
The cycle.
Yeah.
and they do a really great job, so like our teachers they're pretty happy with the Chromebooks.
Yeah.
And they use those in 1st through 8th.
Yeah.
The new teacher coming in is a MacBook person, so she's gonna get a MacBook, and then iPads with cases, and that's for kindergarten.
The ones we have are old, so they just need to kind of pass the point of updating. If you're not updating, the state testing specifically apps won't work properly, so we just want to get ahead of that instead of behind it while we're testing, realizing that, they won't update, so they're kind of on their last.
Why not do all Chromebooks for all iPads? Why take it?
The kindergarten kids are better with touch screens.
We were all iPads.
Is it kindergarten need touchscreens?
Because
With
with
on
the,
the phones and not as it is.
with the map testing specifically, and some of the apps that we use in the cooking, Kinder, they can actually drag their answer, so like if they have a question read to them, they can actually drag to their answer.
Instead of using
Instead of, well,
Or-
because
That's just testing.
everything's online.
Yeah.
All of our testing is online. I know.
As far as like kids just like using it for gaming and stuff like that, though, that wouldn't be the usage for these.
These are
It'll be for
IXL,
testing purposes, IXL and things like
extra math.
You said they had a pretty good long life on those, right?
On the iPads? Yeah, at least 5 years in the warranty I have on them. So if there's, the kiddo drops one and has, a broken screen, we're paying for the warranty also, so we can just send it in and get it fixed. So, and same with the Chromebooks, those come with a warranty on them, so. I do a send in over the summer and then they send them back refreshed, ready for the new school year at no
that. For the
cost.
next crew to beat them to death.
And they don't even take them home. And what they do, it's
Okay.
crazy. They don't even take them home and they can get pretty beat up. So.
But we were all iPads.
We were all iPads.
And then we moved over to a cheaper option than the teachers.
We went 4 through 8 Chromebooks, and then just this school year, we went 1st through 8th. So we popped in for 2nd and 3rd grade this year. So testing is run a lot better for those lower grades on the Chromebooks versus the iPads. We've had very few, if any, glitches or screens freezing or, things that we were running into with the iPads. So, and they're less money than an iPad, so.
That makes sense.
But with the REAP, that REAP grant is something we get yearly. So, when we basically get that in, we'd like to put that typically, in our minds, how we're doing the math, we're like, okay, that'll take care of your laptops, because of the funds that come in. So where it says the tech funds, because last year, we were having all the computer fees going into a separate line item in the budget. It was like one-to-one devices. We drained that out last year, so now everything just goes into the general fund. And so technically, there's not a separate account for tech funds, but that's what we brought in back through their payments this year. That we know is sitting in the general fund, that we can apply to that. So payments that have come in for the apply to that. So payments that have come in for for the high school students for this year with their payments. So no longer a line item in the budget called, you know, one-to-one devices that we've had for the last several years, but those
That
funds
was
are
a
there.
kind of an auditor's,
Nightmare, yeah.
because it's kind of like a student fee, so they have to have a different set of stuff, so it's just go straight into the.
Okay. Are you going to make the motion regarding the technology purchases?
I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Mr. Wiedemann,
Yes.
Mr. Benish,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest. Mr. Jones.
Yes.
You consider take action regarding the purchase of airtight storage containers for the track pads.
Okay, my talked to a guy in Potter, he has a 40-foot storage container, he sells them, they're one trippers, so they're like essentially brand new storage boxes, for $5,200 delivered. We have a real issue with storage of track pads over, the off-season. So all of our track pads this year were completely riddled with
Thanks. Just trying to keep the critters out.
Yeah.
The stucco building across the way, that's where they were at this year, and that's kind of mouse heaven. They find them, didn't like them, so I'm trying to get a better option of storing them, keeping them out.
Does it take a 40-footer?
Yeah, we're gonna be,
And they're taking, between the pole vault pits and the two high jump pits and.
Pole vault.
Yes.
yeah, a good pole vault pad is 20 grand, something like that. So I mean, we're just trying to make sure we keep our pads instead of having mice destroy them. So we just recommend going through, this guy out of Potter. I just have a verbal quote, and $5,200 seemed like a very reasonable deal, for me. We didn't get any other quotes, but if you guys would authorize me to do a $5,200 purchase from, sorry, his name's like John.
We don't need them to fight moisture, that's for sure.
What's that?
We don't need to fight moisture.
They might.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Will there be room for anything else in there?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Like maybe some of that crap in that little building?
We talked about potentially putting some hurdles in there and then freeing up some room that we can clear out the rest of that little shed and then potentially moving it or giving it one of the two.
Getting rid of that shed, it makes a lot of people happy for football games. A lot of opposing.
Well,
fans.
they're in the team, so.
In track meets.
In track meets, you lose sight of.
Yeah.
It's probably had its purpose for the years it's been there.
Yeah.
I think it's been there like 40 years or more. Okay.
I'd make the motion to purchase the airtight storage container for an amount of $5,200. I'll second.
Mr. Whedon,
Yes.
Mr. Benish,
Yes.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Okay, next. Order of business is review, consider, take action regarding the transferring of $75,000 into the school nutrition fund.
This will just finish off the school year for us,
Yeah.
with all remaining bills and the wages. So it's just, we're kind of constantly going
Back and forth in the
back to
general fund.
general fund, nutrition fund. And it's just listed on the first page of the budget for those ones we project. Not what we projected, through the, that's totally separate from the amended budget, but, yeah, just, these are planned transfers.
Well, I'll make the motion to transfer the $75,000 from the general fund into the school nutrition fund.
One second.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Wiedemann,
Yes.
Mr. Benish.
Yes.
Informational items, next regular board meeting scheduled for Monday, June 8th. Any conflicts with that day? Okay. Next board meeting will be June 8th, 2026. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we're waiting.
Get a second for
Okay, this meeting's adjourned at,
Hang on a second. Mr.
oh,
Ernest,
yeah,
Yes.
gotta get
Mr.
that.
Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Wiedemann,
Yes.
Mr. Benish.
Yes.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned at 7:20.